Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell here, and very soon many people who have been relying on the Canada Worker Lockdown benefit, the $300 per week benefit helping individuals who have suffered from lockdowns and pandemic restrictions, well, that benefit program is set to end very, very soon. In today's video, we're going to go over exactly when this is ending and how you can tell if for your area and your individual region this will end. Now, we're also going to touch on something called the Cdap, the Canada Digital Adoption Program. That is a new government grant program that has just been announced as of yesterday that could help certain individuals and small businesses convert their businesses and get some additional funding up to a $100,000 loan to do so. All right, so let's dive right into it. So for the Canada Worker Lockdown benefit, you might remember when this bill was originally put forward, well, the definition of what a lockdown was very, very narrow. It had to be like a full 100% lockdown. People can't go into work and people are losing over 50% of their income as a result. Now, quickly they realized that this wasn't going to work and wasn't going to actually help anybody because nobody could qualify for it. So they added in some looser language via regulation. They made a change to the bill to make it so that people could apply more easily even if their region had only a 50% lockdown. So this was set to go until February 12th. Now, on February 9th, last month, well, we saw an extension of this looser language around what a lockdown was, extending this until March 12th. So that means that until March 12th, any area that is under at least a 50% lockdown in terms of capacity restrictions, well, they'd be able to apply for this Canada Worker Lockdown benefit. Now, this means that for many, this Canada Worker Lockdown benefit, you'll have either already applied for your last one or are about to apply for your last one, and there's a little bit of confusion around in which instance you may be, depending on your region. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll flip over to this screen here. You might be familiar with this page I showed you to you before about the Canada Worker Lockdown benefit. They actually filtered out each individual province to determine whether or not your individual region was still under that 50% restriction lockdown, right? So we're seeing a lot of provinces as of March 1st. I know Ontario specifically March 1st, other provinces are moving this direction, are sort of taking these capacity restrictions off as of March 1st, which you know it has already happened. But the interesting thing here is that on the Canada Worker Lockdown benefit website under Ontario, you can see that they're saying that Ontario is designated for all of the following periods. These are all the regions and they're all eligible for any upcoming Canada Worker Lockdown benefits. However, we do see here that they're waiting to determine here whether or not people will be able to apply for period 19, which is from February 27th to March 5th, 2022. Now, the interesting thing here is you apply for the periods or these benefit periods after the fact. You apply for them on the Monday following the last day here, which I believe this would be Saturday or Friday. Yeah, so it's a little bit curious that they're not giving up information on whether or not at least Ontario and these other regions that are showing this sort of waiting period, whether or not they'll be able to apply, because the interesting thing here is as of March 1st, that's when the lockdown sort of change happened, no capacity restrictions, and you can see that's right in the middle of this period. So if you're wondering if you might be able to apply for this final Canada Worker Lockdown benefit period under these looser guidelines for what a lockdown is before that changes on March 12th, well, you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled on this page and likely on the benefit application page. It'll also show you this, and you're going to have to wait to see whether or not this is actually deemed something you can apply for, or if it's not, because halfway through the capacity restrictions changed. And I'll leave a link in the description for this page so that you can get there more quickly. Right now, there hasn't been any other talk of additional benefits being put into place following this, so you should be planning that this is going to be the last time you're able to receive these sort of lockdown supports and Canada recovery benefits that you perhaps have been receiving over the past number of months. So that's interesting to see that they're sort of transitioning into this fully being a thing of the past. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in the future. There could be things that come into place, especially with this April's upcoming federal budget 2022. That's when you get the idea of what the government's actually going to do over the next year, who they're going to be supporting and helping most. So stay tuned to the channel for that, especially in April. But there is one thing that they announced recently, and that is something called the Canada Digital Adoption Program. And that's something that Trudeau seemed quite enthusiastic about in this press conference yesterday.
That's why we're launching the Canada Digital Adoption Program. This is a $4 billion investment that will accelerate the digital transformation of SMEs through grants and loans that meet their needs. For example, If you're looking to grow your business online, you could get a grant that will help with the costs of an e-commerce platform. If your business requires more advanced technologies, you could get a grant to develop a digital adoption plan. And if you need support to implement your digital transformation, you can also apply for a 0% interest loan up to $100,000 from the BDC. Applications for both loans and grants are now open.
So this Cdap, or Canada Digital Adoption Program, is something that they announced in the previous budget. That was April 2021, and we're seeing it come into effect right now. As he said, it's a $4 billion investment by the government to support businesses or small and medium enterprises. That was what SME meant when he said it, to help them transition their business into something more digital, hopefully something that has fewer operating expenses to make these businesses more sustainable long term. That's going to be especially important as we see the Bank of Canada hiking up interest rates. I talked a bunch about that and how you can prepare yourself for that in a previous video. I'll put a little tab here if you want to learn more about that. But let's get into the details of who could be eligible for this Cdap program. Now, interestingly, this Cdap program is split up into two different sections, and we're going to go into both of them here. So the first one here is called the Grow Your Business Online, and this is more of a grant program, a micro grant of $2,400 to help with costs related to adopting to these new digital technologies to sort of transition your business. And this is the eligibility for this business. And you can actually go to this website and fill out a survey, and it'll let you know whether or not you're eligible. But in short here, it has to be a for-profit business, registered or incorporated, consumer facing, and it has to be accessed by consumers or provide a service to consumers, has an employee, must commit to maintaining this strategy for a period of 6 months, must consent to participating in the follow-up surveys. And they say that this doesn't work for corporate change, franchises, or registered charities, MLM sort of representatives, or real estate brokerages. No word here if it is for individual real estate salespeople or if it's just for the brokerages at large. Now, this next stream of the Cdap program is called Boost Your Business Technology, and this definitely seems like it's targeted at more medium-sized businesses, and it's a grant with a maximum value of $15,000, covering up to 90% of eligible costs of retaining the services of a digital advisor to grow your business. However, this is again targeted at these medium enterprises because one of the eligibility criteria is that you have to have at least $500,000 of annual revenues in one of the previous 3 tax years, along with these other eligibility requirements. So definitely something that's targeted at more of the medium enterprise sort of area, but perhaps you might be in that situation, so this could be beneficial for you. And the final stream is the $100,000 loan that certain businesses will be able to apply for through the BDC, or Business Development Canada, and you can, if you're familiar with the BDC, you may already have a profile here, and you may be able to sort of apply for this directly through the BDC. Again, it's a 0% interest loan for a 5-year term, up to $100,000. So certainly that 0% interest rate, if this is something that could apply to you, would be helpful, especially as we're seeing, again, the Bank of Canada hike interest rates over the next year. The cost of doing business is going to go up, especially if you have any sort of financing helping you with that business. So that covers those 3 streams released through this Cdap program. And if you're not somebody who has a small business but perhaps has a little bit of extra money that you may want to see grow, even if you don't want to operate a business, you could be interested in investing in either index funds or perhaps individual Canadian businesses after hearing this information. And you can do so with the link in the description. There's a link there to Wealthsimple, and you can get $50 for free when you fund your account with $150, and that helps the channel when you do so. But that's it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I read every single one and reply to as many as I possibly can. And with all of that said, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really hope this video helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.